Hi, welcome to the last Bachelorette, the morning after. Ashley, we are joined by two really, really special guests.
Yeah, my fiance Jared.
Hello.
And Colton.
What is up?
I mean, this jacket is
Thank
everything.
You. It's
and
paradise themed
You
for
guys,
tonight.
we
Yes.
have two members of the Bachelor boy band here.
I know, now we just need to find the other three. I like
think we
it.
found our fifth because we always said it'd be like Ben, Nick, you. Who is the other? Dean. And now Colton.
Whoa.
That's it.
I mean, that's a
what else do you
fire
need
boy
right there?
band.
Yeah, you'll rate the music, Ashley. Yeah, so Paradise is tonight. We'll talk about that a little bit after our recap. But what's one word? I mean, I know my one word to describe the finale last night. Ashley, we'll start with you. Do you have one word to describe finale?
Tearful?
Okay. Jared?
Emotional.
Yeah,
That was my
that's
word.
what I was going to say.
I'm going with sweaty. Did you see that?
It was very sweaty. Very
Did you see
sweaty.
that? I was feeling for both of them. I was like, man, can we get a towel?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I'd love to go to the Maldives for that water, I don't want to go for that humidity.
I felt bad for Blake when he walked up. It was just pouring sweat on him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this poor guy. And he's about to get broken up with.
Do you think it would have been, like, I don't know, what if they provided him with a towel as he
Well,
went
they
up
did
to-
at the end.
Yeah,
we saw
I
him
mean,
crying into the
Yeah,
towel.
we can do. It's hot.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, emotional, tearful. I kind of knew the outcome within the first 20 minutes of the show. Did you guys feel the same way?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty undetermined the entire season, and then this episode was like, it's clearly Garrett.
Yeah, once Garrett met the parents, and then everything went so great, and they loved him, and he cried, and then
The dad reference.
the dad reference was just like unbelievable. And then Blake came, and it was a little bit more awkward, and it was like, well, this is obvious. She actually said something in the beginning of the episode that I think back upon now and realized that at first I thought she was talking about Garrett, but now I realize she was talking about Blake, where she says, it's hard to choose. Now I'm trying to think of who could I not live without.
Right.
And I think she was talking about Blake, where she was like, I think I want to choose Garrett, but I'm not sure if I could live without Blake.
Oh, really?
know,
I
that's-
didn't interpret that like that.
That's
at
what
all.
I interpreted it.
I'd say this. One thing that I know about Becca is she's so authentic that she can't hide that. So what you said too is you know within the first 20 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
she can't hide that. Like
Right.
that's just who she is as a person. So you
Yeah.
like. I agree with you though. You could tell right away just because of how genuine and how authentic Becca was.
So my question is, and you know all the players, why didn't Blake see it? She stopped with, I believe, a lot of the physical chemistry with him, just stopped on their date, biking and whatnot, on the beach. And then she was kind of giving him keywords like, this ain't gonna happen, buddy. Also, their kiss goodbye after the family date in the rain, like, she was
knew that.
not
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So tell me,
Yeah.
why didn't Blake see that?
You know, I think part of Blake probably did. And I think that's
I
why
think
we
he-
saw
I think he
Blake
did. I
on.
think
That's
he
why we
said-
saw Blake
he
on
said
edge
something's
the
going
whole
on.
entire last episode is, and you saw it through sort of transpire through the season. Whether it's insecurities or the anxiety, and there's nothing wrong with having those emotions. That's okay to have in a relationship. But we all thought it was Blake the whole time. I mean, as
So
a
did
cast,
she.
and sitting in here, we're like, dang, like anytime you see her and Blake together, it's like that's something. And then same with Garrett. But and you saw how it played out.
Dude, he was like the 2007 Patriots, peak too early. Telling you.
Okay, Jared.
I know.
He was off to a fast start. He was.
Yeah, he was, but also, I mean, do you guys have any thoughts about?
Blake knew. He
Okay.
said, he was like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to pick Garrett. Like, my gut's usually right about this.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew that the chemistry was off. He knew something was weird. He felt like weird that the family kept asking about Garrett, and then he felt something was off with Becca. And then the last day, you don't want to go into a possible proposal thinking she's going to pick the other guy, so of course
So
he's
he
going to be
turned it around,
optimistic.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he was so heartbroken at the end. He was saying some things that like he thought he was getting proposed to. He's like, I thought he was leaving with the wife, and he said, I'm gonna be all alone. I'm gonna be all alone.
Yeah.
Well,
Sucks.
I'll say this too,
Really
like, and being in the house with Blake as well, is Blake's an awesome guy. But Blake was so focused and so into his relationship that there was nothing else that mattered.
We could see that.
as far as developing relationships with some of the other cast, with some of the other guys, and I know that's not what you're there for, but you're there. That's part of life, right? You're in a certain situation. You still want to just have the full experience, so you get to build friendships, and that's part of the show. Yeah. And with Blake, he was so infatuated with his relationship, and that's completely okay. But that's what led to the heartbreak.
So for all three of you, there is so much downtime. If you're not on a one-on-one, if you're not on a group date, what do you mean by like was he chilling by himself? Do a lot of people go off and read?
I mean, like, from an outsider's perspective, even Colton just said, everybody thought it was going to be Blake, including the other guys. So, like, if I was Blake going through that entire process, always thinking, it's going to be me, and then towards the end, he feels it slipping through his fingers, I mean, how could you not completely break down at a certain point and realize, did I screw this up? Did I do something? Because that's what I'd be thinking, too.
You don't read. Well, I mean, you can have a book and you can have a journal, but there's going to be a certain time where they're going to be like, can you not? And
So you just sit there?
And that's exactly what they say to you. They just come up to you and they're like, can you not?
pretty much.
So you just sit there all day?
You talk.
How was he when he was in the family room with the guys? Was he just a little
Blake was
withdrawn?
one of the guys. No, Blake was one of the guys.
Oh, okay.
And we were shooting and playing pool. We had a lot of pool tables at a lot of our locations.
Oh, that's
we played
nice.
a
That's
lot.
awesome.
We
Yeah.
played a lot of pool. And it was cool, but it was always a challenge to get him out of the room, get him down and to be social. Which, like once again, it's not wrong. It's just one of those things that I picked up on, and I noticed that led to him being so devastated is because he was so emotionally invested in that relationship, like unparalleled to anybody else.
That's the type of guy he is.
Well, Colton, I like the way that when you bring up Garrett, like, you kind of light up because you're like, that dude is so awesome. You're so happy that they ended up together.
Yeah, because Garrett is so authentic. And I'm not saying I'm not, Blake's not, Jason's not, but Garrett had no clue what he was getting himself. Garrett didn't know The Bachelorette. His brother nominated for me. He had no clue what a rose was or what was going on. All he knew is he was getting out of the minivan and he was going to meet a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
It is.
That kind of makes you watch the last episode like completely different. You're like,
I
this
agree.
guy just genuinely loves her and
he's
doesn't know what's
happy.
going to come out of it.
He was just genuinely had a grin on his
Yeah.
face.
And I mean, this is the most endearing way possible. Is like he's just like he's a big dumb animal. Like not very smart, but just
he's
like
a goofy, corny
Yeah.
dude, and he embraces that, and I love that about him. Like,
Totally.
he is that corny dude.
What
That's
did
what
we
she wanted.
love yesterday? What did he say? He was talking about how she says a lunch bag with
Bag.
That was the
with
best
the
bag.
Minnesota
Accent.
bag.
Beg.
with the
So
Minnesota accent.
instead of an A, they use an E.
Yeah.
They
That
have that in common.
Oh, we wish that we saw more of that from him.
that was
Well,
the
the-
best part of the episode. I wish they showed more of that from
Yes,
every
in
contestant. Those little
general.
because he was just that was such
a
like
little nuance that he
a little
loved about
nuance,
her.
such such a great moment.
I know, and Ashley knows that's all I want from this show
Yeah.
is stuff like
We
that.
all want that
Yeah.
because we know
Like-
how great it is behind the scenes and all these great things that we say that never
Yeah.
get
We
aired.
want a
But see, that's
Costco
not
membership.
dramatic, right?
I
That's not going to get the
know.
ratings
No,
of,
but it's
the
cute
little-
and
So
it's
yeah, what about your
personal.
conversations with Becca? Like, was there a lot of pop culture references and funny moments and?
Yeah, the thing with that didn't get shown from my side was just the fun that we had together, right? It was always a serious conversation. I had to talk about my virginity. I had to talk about being sort of reserved in my feelings. I had to talk about Tia. So I never really got to just kick it and have fun, and that never got to get shown.
Yeah.
But we did. We hung out. We had fun, and
Conk. Oh my
the
God.
we had a blast that day. That was honestly, that was one of the best dates ever. And I didn't. Who would have thought from Conks we would have a great day?
Conking around, man.
It was good.
Yeah, and I think we saw that playfulness with Garrett last night.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with him.
Yeah. I wish I loved him this much throughout the entire season. I've always liked him. I never had an issue or anything with him, but I was like, I don't connect, and last night I totally connected with him.
Yeah, so
Totally.
the after the final rose, we even got to see more of them, and they want the Costco membership and the corgis, and it was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a cute couple.
They're going
really
straight to Costco. Knowing those two. They're doing their press, and then they're going straight to Costco.
See, okay, so we got them this morning in New York, and it'll air on Access tonight, and that was I decided to give them a breakfast quesadilla.
Yeah.
And one of my first questions for them was, are they going to Costco after this? So hopefully they are. We'll see what they say on Access tonight.
If they get
Yeah.
a sponsorship with Costco.
Okay, so the whole Instagram controversy, we didn't even ask them because they've said what they needed
Yeah.
to say.
I feel like that was so hard for Becca not to be able to defend Garrett that whole entire time. And not that those likes are defendable or, should be justified at all. But to even just stand by his side and be there for him in the moment, she couldn't even do that. So that's for me, when I was watching that play out, I'm like, that sucks. I remember calling Garrett and being like, dude, just, hang in there. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but, that's just a life lesson for everybody to learn.
Yeah, I also think, I agree with Colin where I don't condone those. I'm very much on the opposite side of the political spectrum. But having said that, I'm also not going to be the person that completely creates this persona of a human being by the likes they have on Instagram. Because if you did that for every person, that would be really bad for every single human being on this planet.
Right.
And so he got scrutinized. Maybe he should have. Maybe he shouldn't have. That's up to the people that, that get different pay than me.
Right.
But I think I totally agree. Like, it's over. He said what he had to say. Do I agree with his likes? No. Having said that, am I going to judge him solely based on that? Of course not. And I think whoever is completely in the wrong.
Did that make you watch? I know you were like, I wish I would have seen this from Garrett. Did that make you
It
watch the
didn't
season
make
different?
me look at him differently. No, because like Jared said, like I'm not going to judge somebody based on their Instagram likes
Right.
completely.
It was-
If he had actions that paralleled them, that would be a whole different story.
Which I'm here to vouch for. He does not.
Yes.
and knowing Garrett, I could see. I'm literally visualizing him like being the corny, goofy, dumb, loving guy,
And just double
scrolling
laughing.
through and double laughing
Yeah.
and like not even consciously thinking about what he just did.
Yeah.
Totally. I completely agree.
And like I said on live today, it's just he apologized once, now twice, and what else are we gonna? We can't ask for anything else. We have to just
course.
accept it and move on.
And the more apologies he keeps issuing, the less the less authentic they're going to be. So it's just one of those things you have to
Exactly.
take it for his word.
I agree. I think he got his scrutiny.
Yep.
It was maybe a little bit not deserved, but sure, should he have gotten some scrutiny for it? Of course. But now can we all just move on and let Becca and Garrett be happy? Because they are, even last night I was watching on Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm like, they're a really cute couple. And then I go on Twitter and people are still giving them crap about Instagram. It's like, move on, people. I get it. This isn't something that should be normalized. Having said that, he spoke out on it. He said he's made a mistake. He's moving forward with it. Let them be happy.
But this is Bachelor Nation. They don't let anything go,
No.
as all of you are aware. So they'll be on to the next thing. The last thing I wanted to talk about before we talk about Paradise is they Ari and Lauren flew to the Maldives and taped something with Becca, and it didn't make air.
Yeah, it's so crazy. That's all I have to say about that.
Honestly, if they would have aired that, I just would have been really confused.
I think people
Same
would have been
here.
really annoyed.
that
I
wouldn't
think
fit.
people, if they find out that it even was taped, would annoy them because it's just like, let this girl rid herself of the Ari storyline. Why does she have to be reminded of him before she gets engaged again?
Right. I googled where the Maldives were, and it's like
Far.
really
It's like
far
actually halfway
around the world.
I think they were traveling at the time though. Like they were close by, so it sort of made
Oh,
sense. Just
they
having
never
the
stopped
extra.
in LA. You're
Okay,
right.
well
No.
that makes sense.
I mean, the
So
only
like they were
They were
out
over there
traveling.
on like their engagement moon or whatever.
Less Ari and Lauren traveling halfway around the world.
they brought Lauren too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because Lauren doesn't go anywhere Ari doesn't go, and
Well,
vice versa.
Well, we
That's-
don't go anywhere.
That's even fair. Yeah,
you
they're
aren't Ari and
engaged.
Lauren, please. But I'm glad. I also agree. I'm glad it didn't air.
I know as guys, we were sick of hearing about Ari.
Oh, I don't blame you there.
We were over it just because every single time it's like, well, we get it. Like, we know Ari did. Like, let's stop. It's one of those things. Like, if you're in a relationship, you don't want to hear about your ex.
Totally.
You don't want to hear your current girlfriend or boyfriend talking about their ex.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk about with Becca, Ari?
I didn't. I never once brought up Ari's name. It just wasn't. That's not something I feel
cares?
is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I remember they kept trying to, but like I remember Nick, like on our season, kept coming up in the conversation. And it was the same thing. Like I just didn't want to talk about it. Like let that relationship be, and then like I just want to focus on mine.
But did you see at my hometowns, my dad sort of called her out for it. My dad goes, it's okay for you to bring up Tia, but you haven't talked about Ari. So like when
was
he
so
went
Yeah.
on one date, you were engaged. And it makes like when my dad said that to me at hometowns, I remember being like, why has this been such a big
true.
deal in our relationship
Yeah.
when
Totally.
she was engaged when I
Yeah.
went on that weekend date? Like
Yeah.
it's
Right.
not.
I loved your dad on that. I loved both your
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
They were
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
And that's a really good point.
You know what's so crazy is to like compare the proposals on like how happy
Oh my
Becca is
I
was
know.
last night versus how happy she was when I didn't mean quotes for the previous, but yeah, how happy she was with Ari versus last night.
And the
It's
happy couple
insane.
weekend.
Yeah.
I know.
The difference.
I
Yes.
know. They were never supposed to be together. I can't believe Ari ever proposed to her. It's bananas.
I
They were
mean-
never compatible enough.
No, he went with the safe choice, and then
Yeah.
afterwards he just didn't go with his heart.
You know, everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason. You
Exactly.
got to be happy for Lauren and
Yeah.
Ari, but then now you got to look at this and you have to be super happy for Becca.
Totally.
She wouldn't have
I mean,
met
look at these
Garrett.
two.
She wouldn't have met Garrett if it weren't for Ari dumping her.
Right.
Boom.
Everything happens for a reason.
Boom.
And would she have been Bachelorette if it wasn't filmed?
Oh, who knows?
Well,
I always think about that. It's
that's
a horrible
Ari's
thing.
Theory. It's Ari's theory too. He's like, I did it.
Well, that's ridiculous. Ari should never
did
be
her
like,
a
she should
favor.
thank me. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, Ari. Okay, so Paradise starts tonight, and actually you said,
We both saw it.
We both saw it.
It's so good.
It is really good.
but you said it's like the best.
Well, I said
Bachelor.
it's the best Bachelor episode since, we were on screen.
So are you in the episode tonight?
I'm at the very end.
Okay, cool. So what can
Yes,
you
he is.
tease
You get, like,
about
30
it? Because
minutes.
we've seen a 3-minute promo, so we can kind of guess a lot. But
Yeah.
what can you tease about?
I will tease that it is very emotional, and I don't only mean that of you've seen the previews of me crying. I just go through so many different emotions and a lot of confusion, and then there's also a lot of conversation that needs to be had with Tia. I think a lot of people don't realize this, but when I got off of Bachelorette, we didn't talk. So it was one of those things that's like, I'm not reaching out to you. I feel like in a way, you just played a hand in my, breakup at the time. So
Good.
I'm waiting for you to reach out to me, and it never happened. And then by the time you know it, we're sitting in our interviews, getting ready to walk down on the beach, and it's like, well, here goes nothing. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, so I asked you this on live, but I want to reiterate it here. You knew you were going to walk in with a date card.
Yes.
Did you think, I'm going to give this to Tia, or I'm going to look around?
Here's my answer for that. I came to Paradise to be open and explore relationships, but I also had the understanding that I had to have a conversation with Tia. And I didn't want to have the conversation on a daybed where 17 other cast members are staring at me and her, and they're knowing and they're gossiping and trying to figure it out. So I think like that plays a factor into like, hey, how do I want to handle this situation? Do I want to call it a date? No, but if I have this card, I'll call it a conversation card. Let's see what we can do, and play it out. But no, I did. I came to talk to other girls.
A conversation card. I was about to say,
Who was on your? I mean, we talk about the list a lot. Like,
Yeah.
who was on your list of women that you wanted to meet?
Here's what I learned. You can't put lists together, because I tried to do that for the Bachelorette when the casting was like, here's Lauren, Becca, or Tia, and it got me in trouble, right?
Oh,
So
yeah,
I wasn't
right.
about to like come in being like, oh, I want to see this person. this person.
was so good.
Yeah.
Number one.
I was ready for a surprise in Paradise.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think that's the best thing about Paradise. They just start bringing in people from past seasons. We're like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, bring it.
I agree with Colin. I think the best way to go to Paradise is open-minded, because like the people that you think are going to be there aren't there, and then the people that you don't think are going to be there are there.
Or sometimes there's somebody there that you would have never put on your list, but you end up marrying her anyway.
And on that note,
Look at
thank
this.
you guys. I know. Thank you guys for doing this. I can't believe it's our last one. Paradise airs at 8 p.m. on ABC tonight, and then will be Mondays and Tuesdays every week.
Tune in.
Thank you.